Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an audio episode of the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, I'm your host, Saunch, and let's go ahead and go through the prejudging for men's open bodybuilding, as that is what we all love and cherish. Now, from left to right, we have a top four prediction. Justin Rodriguez going to be rounding out that third to fourth spot position. Samson Dauda all the way on the right, again battling for the third and fourth spot. And in the center stage, Steve Kuclo versus William Bonac for the win here. Now, a lot of people are going to say that this is going to be a hands down victory for William Bonac, and I would say I'm about 90% there. There are a few things that I think are different from William Bonac's physique at the Boston right now, the Boston compared to the Arnold Classic. We are going to talk about in a second. We're going to go through some side-by-side comparisons, shot for shot. We'll go through shot for shot, just so we're all up to speed and we're all clear coming into finals. But I would say when we look at the footage, and I want you to make sure because you're enjoying the footage here. Also, make sure you check out the live stream. It's only $10. $10. You get to see the whole show all day, and then you get to rewatch it for, I think it says 72 hours. So, if you guys want to make your own cool little compilations, you're going to have a lot of time for that. So definitely check out the live stream. You could use a discount code KEYS because Jared Keys was just on the show. You get 10% off your show for that one. But I would say with this lineup, I would say Justin looks really good. I just wish he was a little bit harder. I wish if he could come in smaller. I know it sounds insane, but if he could bring in the midsection the way Steve Kuclo did this year, even if he has to sacrifice just a little bit of size, I think streamlining Justin's physique is going to really do him some justice. Because if you look at Steve Kuclo and you look at Samson Dauda right now, those two gentlemen, they're big, they're massive, but they're not spilling over, especially when you look at the side oblique shot for Justin. It could use a little bit of sharpening. It could use more definition. And I would say for William Bonac, that's the big one. The gyno obviously is very protrusive. He's not as sharp as he was in the Arnold. So it's that gyno is really starting to show. And then I would say the midsection is, I don't want to say descended, but especially in the lower abdominals, there's not a lot of separation. It's really cloudy, not very defined. It's something that's really drawing my eyes as I've watched this video probably 5 times now, and I consistently keep looking at it. Now, I would say in the front double, it's not as noticeable. I would say it's his take-home shot, William, for the front double. And then as they transition into the front lat. For the front lat, I would say William Bonac does look really good, but my eyes actually go to Steve Kuclo. Now, I'm not sure if it's because of the coloring. The backdrop is very dark, so it's not going to benefit the darker skinned gentleman as well. And even Justin Rodriguez, being like a Central American, his skin's a little bit darker. Where Steve, he's Texas, so it's kind of dark, at least darker than my albino skin. It's going to lend Steve a little bit of a bonus here, a little bit of a perk. And Steve does look phenomenal, guys. What can I say? Well, Mark's Max Muscle line right there. What can I say? Check out Mark. He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. The quads on Steve, I think, look great. The separation, you can see everything. You can see everything there. You can even see some definition in the calves from the front. So I would say this is a great package for Steve. I'd like to see him crunch down on his abs a little bit more, because you can see that he's going more for the, I don't want to say vacuum look, but he's letting his abdominals extend out instead of really crunching down on them. You can see William Bonac really crunching down on the abs. And even Samson Dauda, maybe I got it at a bad time where they're breathing, but I would say I'd like to see it just holding it a little harder. And then Justin's really washed out in the midsection. So one of those things he might need to work on. But that would say that would be my breakdown for those front shots. Moving into the sides, I'd say this is like one of William's signature shots. The gyno is noticeable, but if you can look past it, the bicep development, the delts, the traps, and then of course the leg department, he's a very, very dominant from this position. I would say Samson is not as dominant, although he has a great hamstring drop, very well developed, and a very full chest. I would say my eyes are still going with Steve Kuclo on this one, just with the pure size of the hamstrings, the size of the quads. I wouldn't say there's a lot of separation for Justin in the leg department right now. I'd like to see separation there. There's really not much going on there. Those are some Brandon Curry looking legs right now, minus the size. Definitely needs to work on the separation, the posing to really clean that up. No disrespect, obviously. I'm not trying to dog anybody here, but Justin's peaks on those biceps look phenomenal too. I mean, I don't know if anyone's been talking about that, but from the side shot, those are some nutty bicep peaks between him and William Bonac. Probably the best bicep peaks on the stage right now. The cross striations on Steve Kuclo's chest is also, I don't want that to get overlooked. I love seeing that. Even, I mean, I say it in a funny way, but like even on myself when I'm super lean, that's probably one of my favorite things is just seeing the cross featherings on the pecs. From the back double, my eyes actually went to Samson Dauda. If you believe it or not, the crazy quad sweep, and then the way his Flex Wheeler actually was talking about his hamstring development and how different it is. And really, he has a lot of depth and width, different layers of musculature into those hamstrings. It's very developed. And then also the calves look phenomenal as well. Phenomenal. But if we're being honest, I would say that from the back, it's a battle between William and Justin Rodriguez. Justin's back is just so world class. Although, we can see a little bit of spilling in the obliques. I don't think it's enough to really dog him too many points from here. So if Justin were to move up into finals into second, just off the back shots, I wouldn't have any gripes there. But I would say the midsection wateriness, the lack of separation in the midsection is what worries me the most with Justin for this show specifically, but also somewhat in general sometimes, especially the finals and the Arnold. But Steve looks great development, good conditioning, great conditioning. Something I'm really enjoying what Steve's doing right now with the emphasis on conditioning. I'd like to see him. Since he's downsized a little bit more. Like, what can he do for posing to add that clean, classic look? Maybe he could take some notes from Samson on some of the transitions and the way he poses. In the lat spread, I would say Justin looks phenomenal. Lots of mass. The quad sweep on the outside looks, again, phenomenal. Even my phone agrees that Justin looks great here. Steve, the way he's holding this shot, not really emphasizing the traps, but more the delts. I think that's an interesting decision. It also removes any separation in the upper traps, in the central upper traps, or mid, right? Is that what they say? Mid traps, mid upper traps? Yeah, central sounds like a weird word to use, but William Bonac, amazing back. The glutes, from the leg department, I would say if Samson could bring in those glutes, he needs to bring in the glutes because his hamstrings and calves would compete with Justin and William right now. Maybe not William, but he would definitely be competing with Justin in separation and size. But his glutes are really underdeveloped, at least in this shot. William, I mean, there's nothing to say here. William owns the shot. The glutes, the lat spread, the separation, I mean, he has no issues showing like the real nice, clean detail from his back shots. It's just once he turns around, you're seeing a lot of midsection being washed out, and then the gyno. So, and you can kind of tell with his facial structure and the way he's the way he's presenting his physique, it doesn't look like he's very happy. So I'm not sure if he's just not having a good time or if something is going on with the midsection that's causing it to be watery. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment sections below on that. But again, I think Steve is stealing the show with the conditioning, the musculature, the separation, the clean lines. Samson fighting to get up higher and higher in his placings with just the grainy conditioning, the separation, the beautiful flow, the tiny midsection. They move Justin into the middle at the end. I think that's an interesting decision at the very, very end for all these musculature and abdominal shots, because Justin and William are probably not the most strong midsections on stage. So they're putting them together. I think that's interesting. But if you think about earlier, we did talk about how Justin and William had really comparable bicep peaks on those side shots. So, I'd like to see more of this. I'm looking forward to the finals. Even looking through some of these still shots, I think Justin looks very competitive, but I think they're going to give it to Steve again. He has just a little bit more polish, a little bit more separation in the legs, and then the abdominals as well, I think play a big part. Justin is very freaky in the muscles that he has that are really, really good, but it's the overall physique is what the judges are always looking for. I thought also Flex Wheeler mentioned a really nice and really smart comment, and I really enjoyed that, was when it gets down to something like this, the top four, everyone's really, really good. They don't look at what's good, they look at what's bad, and then they compare the bad apples of each physique against the other bad apples, and then they pick which one is the least worst. Now, I think that's kind of silly. You shouldn't be able to just be like, oh, well, this person has gyno and bad abs, and this person has no legs, and then you're going to give it to the no legs guy. Simple subtraction and addition shouldn't be how bodybuilding shows are judged. But hey, I'm sure I've beaten that horse dead, very, very dead. It's in the grave already. But overall, guys, I would say it's a Steve and William battle. I think that's a fair comparison. I think it's a fair prediction. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to talk about Classic real quick, and then we'll look at the second call out. I need to get my footage together for the second call out, but overall, I'm a little surprised on some of it, but overall, I think it's a pretty solid second call out. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, I'm Saunch. Check out the episodes I put out yesterday. We had some fun interviews, so if you guys want to use that for some long formatted cardio, I definitely recommend it. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed this kind of coverage. Subscribe if you want to see more, and continue the conversation in the comment sections below. All of my links, to include the athletes' links, are in the description of the video. So check that stuff out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.